What's going on, everyone? All right, today's trade recap is for Thursday, March 27th. And man, what a beautiful day. These markets have been so beautiful. March has been wonderful. I know I see a lot of people struggling and saying the markets are bad lately. And it hasn't been easy. I will say that. It has not been easy. But once you really know how to read these markets, I mean, you'll see, even in days of high resistance, you'll still see the markets doing what it should be doing. I'm telling y'all, if you just really have to master this stuff, all right? Remember my 3 golden rules to be a successful trader. You got to have a strategy. Number 1, you do have to have some type of strategy or edge to give yourself an advantage, right? Number 2 is you do have to have a solid, strict money management plan that you can follow. And number 3 is you have to have the discipline to follow number 1 and number 2. You just have to, all right? There's many different ways you could trade, many, like strategy-wise, many different ones. But y'all, I am fully convinced. Y'all know I trade with ICT Concepts, and that's a big thing right now. Does it work? Does it not work? Is the guy a fraud? Is he whatever? I don't care. It's been a year and a half for me trading these concepts. I've been trading for 5 years now, 5 years now, and this works, and it's gotten me paid, and it's making me a lot of money. So I'm just leaving it at that. Anyways, I digress. So here's the daily chart. All right, we're on NQ, or this is MNQ. If you recall, well, let's go back to the weekly. If you recall yesterday, I mentioned this weekly fair value gap right here with this volume imbalance. And this is why yesterday I was completely okay with my little bitty win. All right. Because what I want to see is look where price retraced. It pulled back right into this weekly fair value gap, and it's coming back. Today was it came. We had a sell off, right? So, but look, if I'm anticipating where is the weekly bar going to close? Well, we opened, we had a high. Now we're going down. I'm anticipating we're potentially going to go down. All right, so that's the weekly. Let's go down. Let's go to the daily. This is where I really start getting my analysis here, okay? This is where we have that daily volume imbalance. We traded up here to the weekly chart. Now, remember what I said yesterday. I said, all right, we have this volume imbalance, and we have this daily fair value gap right here, a bullish fair value gap here on the daily chart, okay? So when price is coming down, I want to see how do we react inside here, right? We took these highs. We still have some sell side liquidity. We still have these relatively equal lows. Well, on the 1 hour chart, you'll see this better. But as we're coming in, what do we do? But yesterday, as you can see right here, just by a little bit, and I went over this yesterday in the recap, so I don't want to spend a lot of time here. Watch yesterday's. But we got into this volume bounce. So what does that leave us? This portion remaining from this wick to this body, okay, for today. That's what, and it's a volume imbalance now at this point. All right. So what I'm looking at is I'm expecting price to trade through there. All right. So I'm going to leave that there highlighted for now. Okay. But then what do you see also? As we're coming down, well, now this bar closes, but at the time you wouldn't have seen it. What you would see is this potential fair value gap going down as SIBI. It's not there because it hasn't closed, but today it closed. This bar closed down. So we have this SIBI, but also what do you have here? An imbalance. So tomorrow, I'll bring it all the way down because you got to combine the two. Okay. So tomorrow, since we traded all the way through this, tomorrow I want to see us come back up. I'll look, even if we continue down, what do you have first? You have manipulation first. So if you're looking for price expansion to the sell side, the short side, what do you want to happen first? Manipulation to the long side, right? So what could we see tomorrow? An open, a run up into here, right? So let's mark this a little bit darker. This is all for viewing purposes. We could see a run up into here and then a continuation down. Very possible in here and then down. I hate how it squiggles by itself. Like it just squiggles. So potentially that's what we could see tomorrow. Okay. But that's what I'm expecting. So I was expecting today to come through here. And then tomorrow we left this. So I'm expecting what could happen is us trade up to here. Now, I would also watch this wick from today. I would measure it right here. So if we do open and start heading up, I'll watch this volume imbalance and see if we trade all the way through it and stay below this midpoint of this wick. And if so, then I'd be looking for a continuation down. We'll see. We'll see what tomorrow holds. But that's pretty much what I'm reading here, okay? It's the one, the daily. So let's hop down to the 1 hour. Actually, first, let's go to the 4 hour because I want to show this too. After this weekly high, we came down and look what we have here. Let's go ahead and remove this now because we don't need it. I'll leave that here for now. But what do we have here? 4 hour fair value gap, right? And this is the 10 a.m. bar. So we traded all the way up to the 4 hour and then came down, right? Took this little low. We still have all this gapping here from, was that last week or earlier this week? Early this week, right? So these are those relatively equal lows. This low did go down a little lower than this one, like I said in the video yesterday. What do you have here? Volume imbalance, okay? Equal lows here. You see that? We're likely to trade down here into the mid to low 19,000s. That's what I'm looking at, okay? Let's drop down to the 1 hour. 1 hour, look what happened today. We had this fair value gap and this one up here. So let's get rid of this 4 hour one now. But you can see we traded up in here at the 10 a.m. So before, it's the 1 hour. So before we started trading, because this is 10 a.m., we had this here. I was looking at, see, this is 9 and this bar closed at 10. I was looking at this low right here. We had a minor sell side liquidity. Hold on real quick. I had this, because what time was this? 9 o'clock. Yeah. So I had this as a minor sell side liquidity right here, this low. And then I had this high right here, this little swing high as a buy side. And then of course we had these highs here. So if it takes this high, it's going to likely take all of it. And then I had this 1 hour fair value gap right here. Okay. So we're looking at it here. Bring your attention here. And look at this bar, how it went up. And then look what happened after it came back down and closed underneath it. Look at the open of that. This is potentially a 1 hour bearish order block. Traded up through it a few times and coming down. All right. So this is the 1 hour chart again. But this is kind of where I got my levels here. I was looking at this as a sell side, this was a sell side here. And then, like I said, here, let me get rid of this. Like I said, I had this swing up here. Right here is my buy side. Okay, so when I drop down to the 15 minute. Oh, wait a second. Let's get rid of that. So I drop down, and I'm going to show you my other chart with all the annotations and stuff. But I just want to kind of break it down this way. Make it a little more clean. So now when we're down here on the 15 minute. Okay. The 15 minute right here was that sell side that I had. So if you look here on the 15 minute, all this hadn't happened yet. And then here's that buy side I had marked. And then here's all this buy side here, right? The true buy side would be these relatively equal highs here. But I like to mark this. That way, if I have a target here, then I know it's going to go through it. It should. But I like to put it right here in case price wants to get right up to it and do a pullback and then go through. But then we also had this 15-minute fair value gap overlapping that 1 hour. So I didn't need to mark that. Okay. So then you can see price right here, 9 o'clock, opened. And I'm looking for a sweep of one side and then go to the other. So here is swept. And of course, we have that daily volume imbalance. I'm looking at the midpoint, the sell side, and below it. Came down, as you can see, came up, took buy side. So what you have now is a clearing out. Cleared the sell stops, cleared the buy stops, and now it can continue down. All right, so that's basically the breakdown there of my framework coming into the market. All right, so now let me bring this one over. This was my trading chart here. And let me get rid of some of this stuff that I don't have. A couple of these here. Okay, so it's a little busy because I have a lot more information. So I have, we had the open, right? Here's the open, and I have to mark the opening range gap where we closed Wednesday night, where we opened Thursday morning. All right. It's at 0.28, the low. Up here is at 112. It's less than 120 points, right? So because of that, it's likely to close that gap within the first 30 minutes after the open. As you can see, 9:30 here, and then we have 10 a.m. here. So it did not, but what you want to see is it at least go to the midpoint of it. It got close, right? It got close, but it didn't get there. And it got there later. So I have that opening range gap I marked out. All right. And then this is an old opening range gap, which it finally closed that as well. So let's back up. Okay. So let me take you from the open right here. So what we have is we had all this going on here, right? And then we started coming down. But what I noticed was this. This stuck out to me because this was a fair value gap here, right? It used it and then it rebalanced it, came up, and then it closed underneath finally. So this is an inversion right here, okay? And then we have the market open right here, this bar. So if you look, the market opened here, did a little sweep underneath this right here, came up, and then shot up right to the midpoint of this inversion, okay? This is the middle of the opening range gap right here, this orange line. But you can see the middle of this opening range gap right there says 70.50, 20,000, 70.50. The high of this wick was 69.75. So we're looking at 3 points. It got within 3 points of that. Now I wasn't thinking that's a big deal, but it did hit the middle of that inversion and immediately came down and closed here. And then what did it do afterwards? Displaced lower, taking this low, leaving the first presented fair value gap. So in my mind, I'm like, wow, that might be all we need. That might be all price needs right there. Previous day low, like that might be all price needs, and it may just continue down further, right? But I still have a buy side and I still have a sell side. I need to have a draw on liquidity. But I'm thinking in my mind, that might be this right here, back to this first presented fair value gap. That might be a wonderful trade to take right down to whatever draw that we have. Now, that's not my entry model. I don't take those. And plus, it was early, within the first 5 minutes of the market open. So I gotta wait because what messes me up the most is if I take this trade and it loses, then I'll kick myself in the butt saying, why did I take that trade? It's against my rules because my rule is to wait till at least 9:50, the 9:50 macro or 10 a.m. That's when I want to look for my entry. So to take an entry before my time, and if it loses, I'll feel worse than getting a win. All right. Now it did draw, and I left this opening range gap from 3 days ago here because it finally closed through it here. So that's a draw. The new week opening gap, it finally went to the low of it here. And we got right down to this 1 hour fair value gap right here. All right. I thought we'll probably draw lower, but and then you can barely see it here. Here, let me get rid of this. Right here, it says sell side liquidity, SSL. All right, so that was my minor sell side liquidity right here, or that was my sell side liquidity originally from that 1 hour chart. So when we dropped down, we took that, and then we had this draw here. We hit that 1 hour fair value gap. I was like, okay, well, let's monitor this. That might be. Let's see if it comes back and wants to go to the. Maybe this is manipulation now. And let's see if he wants to go sweep buy side. That's a very likely possibility. So I waited, and we got this fair value gap here, right? You could call this a market structure shift because it did take these. I mean, there's a swing in here, but it's not like the best. But, so that's why also I'm not taking this. There's a little bitty inversion right here. Little bitty. I don't really hold much weight to it, but I do look like, okay, it did invert that, and it gave us a little fair value gap here. And look where the body's closed. The wick, and the body closed right here. So, hey, maybe this holds. Let's wait for what? The key word is what? Displacement. So what do we get? Displacement. Now, we had a 5-minute fair value gap, a bearish one, right? A SIBI right here as well. And so this displacement up through that, and this bar closing here inverted this 5-minute fair value gap. So I was like, ooh, that's nice. That's some extra confirmation. And then we got, with that displacement, this fair value gap here. So with that displacement also, look where the body's closed, right? It didn't quite invert the first presented fair value gap, but it traded all the way through it. It rebalanced it. So now I'm telling myself, we have this inversion. We have this 1 minute fair value gap. We definitely have, if we took this swing right here, this is what I like to see, more of a market structure shift right here. Because yeah, you can call this a potential, like a market structure shift. It's just not my favorite, right? But then the combination of everything, the inversion here, this one holding here, taking this swing, displacement, inverting the 5-minute gap, traded all the way through the first presented fair value gap. I said, yeah, if this comes right back down into this area right here, I'm going long. And where am I going long to? Well, the low-hanging fruit's this high right here, because that's where we hit right here, this inversion. And then the fact that we were 3 ticks away from the middle of that opening range gap, I was just like, you know what? Yeah, I like it. Now, I did believe we're going to go all the way up and close the gap and go all the way up here to buy side liquidity. But I take low-hanging fruit trades, right? Y'all know this about me, because I don't want to go all the way up here and then do some pullback like you see here and then do this accumulation and then go. That's just not me. I like to take my profit. 35 to 60 points and we're good. So as you can see, 068, I got out. 013.50, I got in. 54.5 points. 218 ticks. You can make a wonderful living off that, especially with prop firms and multiple accounts. I promise. Okay? So that was my target. Right here, this high, just below it, because I want to make sure you get filled. Right? So that's where it was, 068, which was right there. Boom. So what did it do? Display shot up, got me. Great. I'm out. Wonderful day. And as you can see, yeah, it hit this 15-minute fair value gap right here. Did a little bit of this. Pulled all the way back to the first presented fair value gap. It's now an inversion. Right there, the low of the opening range gap, and then come back up, and then look at this. Boom, straight through, buy side liquidity and all that good stuff. Right? Beautiful. And then later in the day, you can see how it came back around, rolled over. And yeah, like the last, now here, let me show you something too. The last 10 minutes, the last macro of the day, right? We had this sell-off. Why did we have this sell-off? I'll tell you why. Here, first, let's get rid of some of this stuff. Now that I explained everything, I can remove my drawings. Here we go. So, why did we sell off and run down here? If we're going to continue lower, look what happened back here to the left. All this sell side liquidity was being generated, like engineered. Right? This is the trade. We came up. All this sell side liquidity is being generated, engineered right here. Where? The middle. Look at this. The middle of the daily volume imbalance right here. Look at that. It's that volume imbalance. So if price is going to remain bearish and continue lower, do you think price needs to close on the lower half of this volume imbalance or the upper half? If it's going to remain bearish, don't you think it should close below the mid consequent encroachment of it? Maybe even below it? I would think so. So what do you have here? Another move up. Has to clear out some of the buy stops, right? Ran up. Came back down in here. You have all this here. And then right the last 10 minutes, wham. Goodbye sell stops. Okay? And then look. Boom, boom, boom. You have to close here. Like right here. 614. You have to close. And look where it closed. Right underneath. Now, will it make its way back up? It could. Because remember, you want to have manipulation before your distribution. Okay? So that's what happened. That's my trade recap. And let's go to the video. Here's my video of my recording. And I always like to have that so you can see that I did do this in real life. You can always see the time at the bottom right. Okay? You can see that my account is live with the green dot. There's no replay. It's live. Okay? And I'm trading my live personal Trade-Evade. Well, it's Ninja Trader connected through Trade-Evade account right here as my leader. Okay? So here, that's where we shot up. We went here. Let's fast forward it right here. So I was like, ooh, I might take that. Price might go here, but that's not my rule. Okay. So let's fast forward it all the way back over here, all the way back here. I'm watching, I'm seeing this. I'm anticipating. Okay. Here's this fair value gap over here. Here's that 5 minute. I'm watching this wick because at this point, if we fail to trade above, because I was pretty bearish. If we fail to trade above the midpoint here and we displace down, we're going to go lower. So at this moment, in this area, I'm thinking to myself, see, I was getting ready to potentially sell if we invert this and we displace down. Because I'm thinking to myself, this is a crucial area. Wherever we displace from, that's the direction we're going. Because it could go, like the framework was telling me, it could go lower because of what happened up here in this inversion, displace down, come back up to first presented. So I was waiting to see. So then we fast forward. Oh, I went a little bit too far. Look where the bodies are closing. This is a telltale sign. I'm like, oh, it's wicking, but look at the bodies. Look at the bodies. And now we start showing some signs of displacement. And then we actually, you wait for the displacement. So here, all right, now we're like, oh yeah, here we go. This is what I like to see. At the 5 minute fair value gap right here, that's going to get inverted. So at this point, if we get displacement and this fair value gap, there's no way price should trade back down below this little low right here. This little swing low and this fair value gap. It should not. It already traded through it. Bodies closed here. it shouldn't. So I can safely put my stop there and not have to worry about it. Just let it sit. All right. So let's fast forward just a little bit more till we get 30 seconds there. Let's fast forward it. All right. We get the fair value gap. We inverted the 5 minutes. So I changed the color. Here's the London lows. You can see the opening range gap low. We're underneath the 830 price. Like, we're going to go up. I'm not worried about this inversion here anymore, really. But that's my target anyways, the midpoint of it. All right, so I'm just waiting for it to pull back to my entry. If it just keeps going, then I wait. And I wait till it gets to buy side, then like I look for a short. If that happens within my time window that I'm allowing myself to trade, then I take the short. If it doesn't, if it's outside of my trading window by the time it gets up there, I come back the next day. It's that simple. Like that's it. That's that simple. So like that's where you require the patience and discipline. If it's there, it's there. If it's not, it's not. Don't force it. Just be patient. And that's how I can sit back and relax and not worry about anything, right? Like, oh, I gotta get a trade. I gotta go. No, just relax. Relax. It's all good. I had a friend that was Jamaican or is Jamaican. And he would always tell me, he'd say, hey, everything's Irie with his accent. Irie means it's all good. So I always remember that when I say that. I'm like, man, relax, just chill. Everything's Irie. Except, of course, he said it with an accent, so it sounded better. All right, so now it's pulling back in. I'm like, I want to see if we're going to try to hit this midpoint, but we have that 5-minute inversion. The second I see, look how I got in a little bit later than what I wanted to. Here, let's backtrack. I wanted to really get in. I mean, I should have been hitting the button right here at the midpoint of this 5-minute gap, but I really wanted to see if we'd come down a little lower, because if you look at this wick, here's the midpoint, pretty much overlapping this 1 minute consequent encroachment. I was being a little picky. I wanted an entry here, but I was telling myself the second I see a little bit of support here, a little bit of resistance, and this bar kind of start going up, I'm going to hop in because I don't want it to run away, because this is a trade where it could just run away without me. So you'll see that happen. I'm like, and then it starts pulling up. I was like, all right, let me get in before this runs away. But then you'll see it does pull down a little bit more. But that's the risk. Like, you just got to get in at your entry, because if you wait, it could run away without you. I already know my risk. I'm fine with it. That's why I put my stop right here, right underneath this fair value gap, because it should not reach back to that. And my entry is 01375 or 01350. So I have a 30, 40. It's a decently large stop. 40 points. All right. I'm going for 55. But I know, like, sometimes you just know. And when you've been doing this for a long time, I know nothing's certain in trading, but you could be so confident where you know price is not going to reach down anywhere. And what I was looking at, see, I'm even circling it right here. What I was looking at is once we reach here and we come back up and close above this 1 minute fair value gap, there's no way we're reaching back in here. And I can safely move my stop into the lower half of this 1 minute fair value gap. So let's see if I can speed this up a little bit here. So you see it's pushing up here. Pull my P&L over so you can see my total, all 20 of my accounts. I mean, look how fast that went. No, I was not up 21 grand. It's because there's a lag between Rhythmic and NinjaTrader. So my accounts didn't actually get up that high. That would have been nice, but it didn't. Let me go back to normal speed right quick, so you can see this. This is normal speed right here, right? So it's going, and I'm waiting for the displacement. There it is. There it is. So here's when I'm flat. Well, not quite. About to be flat. There we go. There's my accounts, $14,342 after commissions. But you can see the speed of it because when it works, it works. It's doing what it should be doing, right? Like when it reached here, I needed to continue displacing. Like it shouldn't hesitate. It shouldn't have high resistance. If it's going to go, it should just go, right? It doesn't always go that fast. I'll admit that. But it shouldn't. You should see very low resistance. Like this one was just, I mean, it just shot up there. Boom. Okay, cancel my sell stop there. And let's go. Beautiful trade, right? Trying to make my screenshot there. So yeah, that's it. That was my trade there. Now real quick, a little update. Having a great month. Just under 50 grand for the month. 71% win rate. Have a pretty good win rate compared to my normal 60-ish%. Also, my average win-loss ratio is pretty low, though. It's almost a 1. It's a 1.14, and that's because I had a couple of these days with small winners. And about half the month, I was on lower contract sizing because I was still going back and forth on my contract sizing. So I went to my normal sizing right here at this day where I hit that 14 grand profit on the 13th. So since the 13th, I've been pretty consistent with the same sizing. So as you can see, more than half my profits came from then. And the first half was, it's about half and half. But anyways, yep. That's it. So we'll see how we got a couple more days left to trade of March. We'll see how it goes. I'm probably going to put in some more payout requests tonight. I'm not sure how much I'll request yet, but I have like 9 accounts that are ready. I'm not going to request all 9. I don't think. I still have to do the math on it and see. But anyways, yep. Hope you all have a great day. I'll be back. We'll see if we get a trade tomorrow on Friday. But I'm telling y'all, if y'all learn this stuff and if you come watch my trade recaps, you're going to see a lot of consistency and you're going to see the same things happen over and over and over again. Like, it happens, guys. Like, just telling y'all, take your time and learn this stuff. It is there. This is literally life-changing. I'm not even playing. Like, you can see. And I have now a live personal account with today. I almost hit 11 grand in my live total, right? Because I've been building it up. I'm almost at about $11,000 balance. I'll share that too, right? Like, it's unreal, to be honest, but it is real. Let me share one more thing with you guys here real quick. One more thing here. One more thing. I want to show this periodically because I want y'all to know that, like, I don't blow accounts. Let's see. Hold on one second. Sorry. Oh, crap. Hold on. I hit the wrong button. Bear with me for one more minute, y'all. Bear with me one more minute. One second. I accidentally hit the wrong button. I want to show you my accounts is what I'm doing. Here, I just took this screenshot and this is what I want to show you. My PA numbers. If you look back on any of my videos, I have the same PA numbers. It's been almost a year. 55 through 72. I want to show you all that. Look, today's date, March 27th. I want to show this periodically because I want y'all to see. Look how many trading days. I want y'all to see that I practice what I preach. I'm not going and blowing, okay? I just want to point that out, all right? Because like I know there's people out there that say, it's okay to blow accounts. And I've always said I don't want to be in that business. Right. And I'm not knocking anybody that is, but I just want to prove that I'm practicing what I preach. All right. So that's all. That's all. I just wanted to show that. So anyways, all right, I'll conclude this video. It's 35 minutes now. I'm telling y'all, I promise I'm going to get it down to 20 minutes or less. I will somehow, some way. Anyways, all right, y'all. Thanks for watching. As usual, if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Join the Discord. I'm on X. I'm posting more on X now than anywhere else. X, I have my Facebook group, Discord, right here on YouTube. Let's connect. Let's grow. Let's learn. Let's all get better and get paid. That's what we're in this business for, right? Cut the drama out. Let's get paid. All right. Have a great day. And as always, trade well, everybody.